morning to this week's edition of Coffee with Jim and James. James, before we get started, I need to tell a story of how Chris and I actually met. True story. Well, maybe. Years back, I was in the swamps of Oklahoma. The swamps of Oklahoma. I was out there for days, maybe weeks. I was down to a lantern, pocket knife. I had a Hershey bar. I thought this was it. The alligators were coming in, the whole bit. Then all of a sudden, I heard this noise coming. It was loud. It was a motor. It was turning. And I'm like, what is that? And all of a sudden, through the horizon, I saw a Ford Bronco. Jacked up, big wheels, a whole bit. All of a sudden, this person comes driving up through the swamp with a trusty dog in his seat. He said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I'm not okay. What are you doing here?" He goes, "Well, we heard that somebody was lost, and I'm always here to help somebody." And I said, "What is your name?" And he goes, "Chris." And then Chris looked at me and goes, "What's your name?" I said, "Jim." He goes, "Well, how'd you get in this debacle?" And I said, "That's a long story. I'm not even going to go there with that one." But that's how Chris and I met. Maybe, maybe not. James, with that, I'm going to hand it over to you to bring in our special guest this week, because that story, even for me, is a little far-fetched.
We've had a lot of requests of maybe us changing out and me going first. But I don't know. I don't know if it's better to chase that or to lead that off. The swamps of Oklahoma. Chris, welcome to the show. I don't even know what that means. But it was true-ish because I've seen the Bronco. I've driven the Bronco, actually.
There you go.
Never the same.
That's why I brought in Chris. Is a huge car aficionado. He loves cars. He loves dogs. So I wanted to bring in the two things that he's passionate about. So
yes, Chris, what is the make and model? I mean, give us the lineup on the Bronco.
Well,
Year,
there's been a couple, but the current one is 74.
We're gonna get a picture, and Amy's gonna put it in the corner down there. I already know it.
Have it drive over. Yeah. No, anytime. Anytime you want to work on throwing some wrenches, let's go.
Well, I don't know anything about that stuff. I trust you, Chris. It's really not why you're here today, but it is something cool about you, Chris. Instead of me talking about you, I know you like to talk about yourself. So fill our guests in on what you do. Obviously, you're with Energy World now. What you do for the team, and a little bit of who Chris Isaacson is.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. So, yeah, Energy WorldNet. I am the director of client solutions, and our whole job is making sure our clients have the best solutions and working with them and taking care of their needs. So, I love it. Our team loves it. But yeah, it's sometimes late nights, early mornings, but that's what we're here for. So,
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, you have a passion, and being serious, you mentioned the term client solutions, and I think it means a lot more than just two words. Our clients these days are very diverse with their needs, wants, and desires. Sure. Can you give a little insight as to how you, your team, as well as the whole EWN team works together, with you to help meet the diverse needs and deliver the results that really are what the clients are looking for?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. We could probably sit back and say we develop all these great solutions, but at the end of the day, it comes from the clients. Yeah. So really just working with them and listening and seeing how can we help their business be successful. When they're successful, we're successful, right? So it's really around, why we name the team Client Solutions is the collaboration with each one of them. And how can we help them, their team, their external teams, is what we're here for. So I think the passion comes from every day waking up and saying, hey, what can I do to help that next person? And that's going to be infectious to how they can help their team and so on and so forth. So it's it is only two words, but it means a lot to everybody at Energy WorldNet and our team specifically. So
I just want to jump in real quick. One thing, Chris, I've heard from the industry in regards to you specifically, and I'll share this, and it's come up a lot lately, that I've been told that you just ask a lot of questions. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. People like that you ask questions and questions and questions. And I bet that, that's a driving force with you, that desire to learn.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think every call or every discussion or every chat or every, email, it's about learning twice as much as you're, feeding back. I mean, we're here and we have great products and great solutions, and it's not just a platform, it's everything that we do for them. But the more we can learn, the better we can serve them as clients and future clients in the industry as a whole. So I think that's what's exciting about where we're at today is we have a very core and solid client base that I look as an extension to our team. It's not just Energy World Net as who we are as employed by, our group, but it's more every single one of our clients is a part of that. So that's what gets me excited is what can we do to help them in return helps us because we're learning just as probably even more than what they're learning. So that's what's exciting. So
And there's a lot of momentum there, Chris, when we, get closely, get in one of those, relationships where we're working very closely with a client or even a potential client. We find a lot of momentum there too once people get in there. And I know it's something you were going to talk about probably here in a bit, but so there's a campaign, a mantra, an internal mantra, and even external in a way at Energy World Net that really came out as we came out of our rebrand, and that's the Be Brave mantra. So, Chris, do you want to talk a little bit about that? I mean, it sounds funny, the brand guy asking you, but I think your team really personifies that and that collective, client solution thought, that mentality, if you will.
sure.
I think you encompass that in your team and our collective teams too. Do you want to talk on that a little bit? What that means to you and your
sure.
folks?
When the whole Be Brave came out, like I was super excited for just the tagline Be Brave because that's what we talk about in every conversation we have with clients internally, discussions, external discussions is that's the way it is today, but that's not the way it has to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really around we provide great solutions in this aspect, if it's operator qualification or safety or whatnot. But think how could that adapt to different departments within that organization, other industries that we're currently not working with, or maybe working with very small bit. So the Be Brave initiative to me as a company and especially on our team is always think maybe they're bringing this up because there is a better way, right? As we talk internally, we've done things a certain way so many years. Not saying that way that we're doing today is bad or wrong, but being brave to say, have we thought about this way, right? I think that's really what gets exciting is, and we embrace that. I feel like it's instilled in all of us across every department is it's okay to raise your hand and say, what about this?
Right.
If you're a new hire or if you've been here for 10 years, Yep. So that's exciting to know that we instill that in our company. I truly believe that it kind of just radiates to our clients naturally when we have these conversations. They're like, wait, you're not just saying no, you're saying, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. We've heard no for the last 3 years from
Yeah.
our current vendor or whoever, right?
Yeah.
And I think it also shows off a bit of our diversity within our groups. We have such a diverse team to where, sometimes in companies you get a little more, like you kind of get in a hiring rut where you're bringing people into the hive kind of. And I think we've kind of broke that a bit with our group. We have amazing people. That's the common thread. But they're also diverse in what they bring to the table and strengths and passion and whatever it might look like. And so when you bring that forward and you have the permission to be brave to go out there, when you couple those things together, it's pretty impressive. I think with your group being one that spearheads a lot of the new ideas, obviously, but also collectively, right? I mean, again, I think it's hard to look across our teams and not see somebody who is eyes wide open for opportunities to help clients.
Yeah. And I think that's what you see also within our clients that we work with, right? There are the clients that are regiment and this is the way we need to get it done. And we can work within those, those lanes. But then there's the clients that are making the same changes that we are, maybe just in a different aspect, right? So how to embrace their change and where they're going only allows us to think outside the box with them. Just like I said at the beginning, we're doing this together. We're a piece in the puzzle of their bigger initiatives, just like they're a piece in our puzzle. But how big that piece is, how we determine it, right? So
yeah, that's very much two heads are better than one, but exponentially, right? I mean, yeah, that's great.
Absolutely. Chris, you hit on a point there, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah.
And the point of this is over the last 12 months, we've seen a lot of change, needs, wants, desires, whatever you want to call it in the industry, COVID, all these things. And, for an industry, the energy industry, where people say, moves very slowly, but it moves and it, blah, 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 A to B, B to C. This last year, what have you seen as far as the needs, wants, and desires of the customers, the clients, the people in the energy industry, and what are the hot buttons that are kind of been knocking on your door where they're asking for, maybe things that haven't been the typical for them in the past?
Yeah, I think the one that's not shocking, but just exciting that's happened is, we might work with a certain division or department or organization within that group. And from that relationship that we built with them, they've taken that to other organizations, even other companies, but specifically other organizations or departments within their company, that it's kind of opening the doors to saying, well, we've always done it this way. And especially with the last year, they've had to think outside the box to say, we have had to lay off some employees. We don't have the staff. We have now these requirements of, distance and all that. So it's been exciting to see from the relationships we built with, specifically like the gas department, bringing in other departments and saying, hey, what are you guys doing over there? I hear you guys talking about this, and expanding our services and solutions within the same company has been awesome. Not just on a sales and revenue aspect, but now we're able to work with other groups that have different needs and different, use cases that we're able to adapt what we currently have or enhance what we, enhance the solutions that we have. So I think the big piece that we've seen over the last year is, and we're fortunate, I'll tell you that, that companies have really embraced the technology more so than they might have if we weren't through 2020. So it's fun, but at the same time, it goes back to the be brave, right? Is when you're having these conversations, you're talking different lingos now. And because that's their lingo for their department. So it's now just kind of learning at the same time, probably learning more than they're learning from us. So
in a very productive way. People want productivity to go up. They want people's, safety aspects, their safety regimens to increase too. I mean, there's so many things, and when they do see it, a great thing happening, it's fun to see where it expands horizontally across the organization. I mean, that's nice now going.
I think another neat, man, and I hate to even call it, something positive because of the situation that kind of put us, obviously, not talking down on the outcomes, but one kind of opportunity or byproduct that popped out of it too is that I think a lot of organizations were really scared of change, like all of us are, right? I mean, we do things path of least resistance sometimes, I mean, for a very specific reason, but this past year proved that, I mean, it forced a lot of us to change in a lot of ways. And I feel like a little bit is people piling onto that going, you know what? Everything's dumped on its head right now anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're stuck in the office. Some people, essential or not, that are in some of these roles, these decision-making roles, are looking at a workforce that is doing something they've never done.
Yeah.
They're looking at numbers, because finances were something that were impacted obviously this year. And they're looking at new ways to do it because now they're looking at going, we're changing everything we know already.
Yeah.
And so I think there's been a little bit of momentum for change within our industry and beyond, technology as a whole and adoption, because why not? We were worried about having to do this. We're having to do everything else. We're stuck in the office or, whatever that looks like. Let's get to work on making better processes and questioning it. So, I've seen a lot of momentum in our industry and a lot of people hitting that big red button and going, I don't know, maybe we should consider, this person isn't saying no, right?
Yeah. I think what it did is it kind of leveled the playing field for all employees. Because now everybody got pushed into the same situation, working from home, or
Right.
I have a dog that's my kid, but I have friends and family that have kids, and now they went from working their 40 hours a week to now they're a parent, a teacher, still have their job. There's a lot of things.
Working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
They never leave their house, right?
Yeah.
That's reality.
So it leveled everybody where it's like, guys, we're in this together. How can we make changes for the betterment personally, for the company? Is really kind of like you said, turning on your head. It's not like this is how we do it anymore. It's like we all kind of like anybody have an idea, being brave, right? Like everybody needs to bring ideas to the table because this is new to all of us, right?
For sure.
So,
it's very new, and I think an interesting aspect of that that I would argue that I think teams in a lot of ways have strengthened from it. Meaning that there used to be a comfort. Let's say you had a team of 10 people, and those 10 people went to an office every day. They waved to each other, went to their office, their cube, wherever it is, and did their own thing. Waved. Oh yeah, James is over there, Chris is over there, Jim's over there.
Yep.
Then also we disbanded. Then people are like, well, I need to make sure I'm in contact. I got to let people know, see what they're doing. All of a sudden, the communication, I think, increased.
Sure.
And, I would argue that a lot of extreme positivity and team building got even deeper and stronger because of it.
Jim, you're a product of that. Really, you were dislocated because of being remote, and the pandemic has allowed us to connect obviously a lot more, which is weird, since we kind of pulled back from the industry, but you're a result of that.
Absolutely.
Chris, we finished the show. I hate to wrap up our time, but we've been on enough meetings together to know how long this could go. But Chris, we always wrap our show with a question, and I think you deserve the same question. But Chris, do you love what you do?
Love it. Absolutely.
Can't leave you off you can't just answer I love it.
Yeah.
Why?
I absolutely love it. Why? I don't know. I would say the simple fact of helping people, right? It's internally and externally. Like I get the most passion and excitement by, having those one-off conversations with employees, right?
Yeah.
Across departments. And we sit there and you start realizing, man, there's so much passion because we're all here for the same thing. We're helping our clients, but we're helping each other as well. So, that's what I love is the camaraderie with internal and external people. I don't really, yes, their clients and they pay us right there. That's kind of the separation, but we're always collaborating across.
And Chris, you are awesome about, you're a solutions provider within our building, if not more so, we just got off a meeting together where we're building the future out. So I love how it's not just an external money-making, gimmick. That's something you guys do as a team, guys and gals do as a team effectively every single day.
Yeah. Love it.
Shows.
It does show.
Appreciate it.
Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you on. I can attest to Chris's passion in the industry. having the pipeline industry in my home, our home here. I know that he's made many calls to the other party of this home about pipeline initiatives and such at all hours of the night. So anyways, thank you, Chris, for joining us today.
Guys,
Please follow Chris if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on another forum or another of the podcasts, hit the like button, follow us. We appreciate each and every one of our audience members. Until next week on Coffee with Jim and James, stay safe and have a great week. Take care, everybody.
see you guys.